Welcome back to Suladan Plays Roll, Die, Go Home. So firstly, there's something I should point out. I figured out later. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. I saw there were times that I threw my head and when I picked it up it re-rolled, so I thought maybe that was the trick to re-rolling that I had been missing all along, but apparently it's not. I'm gonna try it again in the dungeon just to make sure maybe things work by different rules, but like, you know. See? No? Well, that would have at least made more sense and made a tactical difference to throwing your head and grabbing it versus throwing your head and teleporting to it. Yeah, the game devs are working on different methods to do that. I've read in the patch note, well, the upcoming, the notes of things they'd like to do. They're, you know, actively working on this, actively adding more content, and one of the goals is to figure out a better reload system. I mean, reloading is going to happen automatically, and a better rolling system. Excuse me. Okay, it just crashed when I opened it that time, and now it's functional again. I'm paranoid now. It says the upcoming changes are automatic reload of ammo. We're planning to change how you reroll, open to feedback, and your ultimate charge will now decrease when it's not full. So I assume that if you get it halfway and then you know, run out of enemies, it'll just start to decay, which will push you to find more enemies to fight. Stop being spidery. You know, as far as my feedback would go, I like the idea of it being, you know, if I throw my head and I pick it up, I reroll, but if I teleport to it, then I don't reroll. That would offer some tactical variety. But, you know, there's lots of things that may or may not. Oh, hello, more scooters. Didn't ask for more of you. There are probably plenty of ways to do that, and there it crashes again. You know, the weird thing is that I haven't changed anything. You know, same game, same recording setup, same computer. What, did I just get really lucky last time? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'd love to see this you know, extra boss, but I'm not gonna, you know, do this 100 times until it doesn't crash. So we're just gonna hope. It even gave me the nice lightning one. And lots of spiders. Also, just to note, I found out at some point during the last episode that you can teleport because I finally looked up here and read. You probably saw me teleport a bit, you know, during the jump cuts, and yeah, that's how. Also, I just noticed the central sphere there looks different, so yeah, that's further support to the idea that we going toward the new boss. Come on. Still a red X. You know, red X tells me I'm doing something wrong. Like, I don't know if that's the intention, but when you have a dice covered in 6 sides, a red X is going to be perceived as a bad roll. Although I've never seen it do anything else, so... Watch, it turns out that that's just not even completely functional yet, and they all are red X rolls. And it's been tricking me this whole time. Also, I love the lightning one. Lethal positioning. Oh, I can go to the next floor. Well, we already got the treasure, so... Next floor! Whoa. The whole world flashed in front of my eyes. Are we literally just in the same game map and it's like way off over here somewhere? because I saw the camera fly in a direction. Which means that we didn't change regions, we just moved within the same space. A lot of games have used that over the years. You dig into game code and find out that like all the houses, all the interior of the houses or various dungeons are all just kind of suspended in the void near one another. Where games have hidden their skybox, like off. For some reason there's a miniature model off in the distant sky. I'm sure there's a programming reason for that because I've seen it in multiple games. You zoom the camera out into the void and you find like all the skybox particles in super miniature form. Just kind of out there. For reasons. One of the Halo games I know did it. Unreal Tournament 2004, some of the maps did it. I know about the Halo one because it came up in a video on YouTube where if somebody fell off the map in just the right way, they would land on it and it would spawn their giant body in the skybox. Or something to that effect. Treasure! Gimme! Gimme something. I'll take that. The health up is a valid treasure. We gonna die. I don't know what this brings, but we gonna die. That rock moved. Now I'm paranoid about the rocks. Oh, you weren't get... Mow and ow. Let's see if this works like I hope it does. Kind of. Not to a useful degree. Sorry, my mouth shuts off. I'm focusing on so many trajectories. Trying to focus on trajectories. Well, I broke it. Now I have the texture of lightning without lightning. Oh, I managed to hit it with that. That's nice. There's a slight invulnerability window when you... Okay, some of the marbles have bounced off me harmlessly, so that's a thing. I still think it'd be neat if you could throw your head and then still shoot your remaining ammo from where your head lands, like a turret. Ow. Oh, come on. No. There's too many marbles. Too many things for me to fixate on. I just go deer in the headlights and all of my processing power is on trying to track the trajectories of everything. I didn't want disease. Its limited range makes me not fond of it. Nothing against that boss though, it's interesting. Kind of a hard mode version of the one I had already fought. Though it still occurs to me that at least I have a generally better time fighting the boss by hitting it with my head than I do shooting at it because of the projectile speed. And the fact that, you know, I can leave my head laying there like a landmine and still have it kill the boss. It would be, you know, if I could find the shopkeeper, then I'd be pretty much set. Because, you know, apparently your money carries over. I feel like you may also want to increase the likelihood of actually getting items, because I mean, I know there's only 3 floors and all, but in a lot of runs, I'm lucky if I get 1 item. And by item, I mean passive item. Like, getting another, you know, dice thing is nice and all, but... Well, for me, generally, I end up either relying on the blades or the lightning. Those are my 2 favorite. They're the most reliable for me. The standard little fire projectile is nice, but the Rage Fist and the Dynamite are both so short range as to get me hurt. And the poison one is a little difficult for me to control. Although I should say that I'm also slightly biased in that passive items and things that stack and combine for zany, wacky effects is kind of one of my favorite things in roguelike games of this caliber. It's one of the reasons that I kind of have mixed feelings sometimes about Gungeon, because its focus is more on the various guns you can find instead of the combination of wacky, zany power-ups. That and the whole magnificent stat in the background making sure that you don't get too lucky kind of annoys me. The fact that it's designed in such a way that every time you get a rare item for the rest of the run, you have a lower chance of getting rare items in order to balance it, to make sure that you don't accidentally get overpowered. Well, there's a lot of people that find that to be one of the more fun aspects of that type of game, is when you end up wildly overpowered by dumb luck. But yeah, this game is still new enough that I don't know what its goal is in that regard. I would assume that, you know, the end game is going to have a lot more than 3 floors, so you'll end up filling up all 6 of your dice slots, and of course have more dice powers to fill those slots with. But I would probably recommend, you know, either having the shop appear... Well, the problem is the shop in its current state kind of lets you become overpowered. So I don't know. It's kind of a in the current state. Would like for this thing to be a little more... No. Show me a different symbol for when I get an item, as opposed to when I get a dice power. Show me a different symbol than a red X. Do something! But I feel like I often reach the boss with no items. It's just, I found like a couple dice effects, and I'm like, well, I got no items this run. And I don't know, that may be intended. The focus of the game may be on the dice abilities and not on you finding the item. I mean, not the focus of the game, but the mechanically what they may be aiming for. And that's the reason I bring up Gungeon, is because its aim was to focus more on the guns rather than the passive items. The guns and ammo conservation as a kind of driving mechanic for its combat. Whereas the reverse, Binding of Isaac, you have the one weapon and every item interacts with each other to create weird combination effects. Which is kind of more my style, because I love seeing all the passive items combine. In Gungeon, if I've already got a good gun, and I just find 10 more guns, I'm just sitting there like, well, those chests were wasted. I wanted to get an item. Something that will make the good gun that I already have even gooder. In its current state, I do feel like the lightning and the blades are my two favorites. The blades, because of their high projectile speed. I don't even mind that they do less damage to offset it. I like the high projectile speed. And the large amount of ammo it carries. And then the lightning, because it's, you know, very reliable damage. I just focus on my positioning and let the damage over time take its toll. The poison could likewise be that way if it wasn't so short range. I'm not fond of the way it just kind of bloop. Maybe make it bounce, you know, bloop, 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 bloop. Or do something weird or unpredictable, but, you know, giving it more range, I feel, would help. Because in the current state of the game, the shorter melee-ish ranged abilities are risky. The dynamite one does do decent damage, but the punch one, while having infinite ammo, seems to do negligible damage. So it's kind of like risk-reward, but no reward. Wow, kill 41 enemies took me to the whole floor. It occurs to me that auto-reload could be a bad thing if it makes you throw your head. Like, you're just firing away and suddenly, whoop, right into the middle of the enemies your head goes. What happens if I come over here? Does the other room exist yet? Or if I... Nope. Well, that was fun. So the other rooms don't exist until they're revealed on the map. They've not even spawned in, so if you end up outside the map, you can just enter another room, and then the hallway you just entered from suddenly exists. I know that's not intended, I just find it amusing. Can there be a shopkeeper? Those are pin cushions. All the rocks have faces on them. Face, 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 they're all watching me. Shopkeeper. Tim with a hat. Still useless. Why are you 500? You know, I kind of, when I said I hoped for a shopkeeper, I hoped for a shopkeeper with, you know, useful shopkeeping things. I will admit faster move speed is, you know, one of the more useful things. I'd still like to see that shield. It's weird, I unlocked the shield in the game, but on the game's page in Game Jolt, the shield is shown in the list of upcoming items, so I'm puzzled by that. Perhaps there's a second shield. Why is my head over there? What? Why? Why is my head over there? Can I pick it up? I now have two heads. Fair man. Oh great, I can't use... Well, I broke it apparently. I can't use my ultimate. And it just drops the head. Well, this is life now. I broke it. I mean, I guess that means at least I'm stuck with the standard shot. Hey, there's too much happening. Stop being too much happening. I know it's part of the difficulty. Ow. Sometimes there's not a safe path. There's just too many of them. For me and my, you know, lack of items. I have, you know, speed up boots. Woo! No damage up, no health up. A broken ultimate. Not broken in a good way either. It's really not that bad though, it's just a lot going on at the same time. It's also a lot harder to shoot it the shorter it gets because it's a much smaller target, and I'm gonna die. And dead. Every time when it's down to... Can I have useful items? I broke it. I really do love the game, don't get me wrong. It's just... when you have to play through it so many times, and with so few items in the game, and it's no fault of the game dubs. No fault of the game, no fault of the game dubs. Some of the things that would normally be making each of the runs feel unique, like having, you know, a different item set up every time, well, there's not enough items to really have a different item set up every time, and you don't get items often enough to really see them every time because there's so few items, and because most of the items that are in the game currently are just, you know, flat stat buffs, so you can't get too many items aside from when the shopkeeper is really friendly. Okay, will you die? Ooh, I don't like the disease when it comes to those. I understand there's reasons that you're not getting many items right now. I really am looking forward to the next update because it mentions they're adding more items, so I hope that by adding more items they will likewise increase the frequency with which that you get items, and maybe reduce the frequency of spider mobs. Because this is ridiculous. Not this room in particular, but this floor has had so many rooms with just here, have half a dozen spiders, all in your face. The one time I decide to use the disease die, whose grand weakness is the spiders, because there's a minimum distance that you can throw it, and the spiders end up chasing you within that minimum distance. I'm getting a little frustrated. And it's not the game's fault. Okay, let's try this again. Hey! I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Oh. Well. And what's the point of earning all that stuff? Whew. Oh, it says nom. Nom. Also, it has eyes. I didn't notice that. I thought these were its eyes. Okay, that was worth it. Well, it's late, so it's good night for good night. But I was hoping that defeating its sister would, you know, do something. But I guess not. I guess it's just a challenge boss. I really do enjoy the game, and when the next content update comes out, which is in its... If I just exit the game, I can click the thing, but if I exit the game, all of this goes poof. The next content update should be coming out at some point in the nearish future. The news post on the Game Jolt page was made within the last week or so. I don't remember the exact, and I can't see it because it's on the other monitor, and I'd have to scroll down, which requires me... The downside to using full screen mode, I can't change windows. But when the next content update comes out, it includes a lot of items and other alterations that will probably bring me back to this game again. It has come a long way since its earlier days as a good day to die. I really do enjoy it. Some of the things I'm complaining about are more to do with the current lack of content, making it difficult to play through it like repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly because the runs begin to feel the same, and you find little frustrations and you can fixate on them. But it shows a lot of potential. I'm torn on the concept of auto-reloading. I saw that mentioned in the future things. It depends on whether it makes you throw your head or not. There's also the question on whether reloading should be tied to throwing your head, or whether throwing your head would be a reroll, or because it's tied into the dodging mechanic. There's really a lot of possibilities and options, but you have to be more careful about changing them because it could change so many other things. If every time you throw your head you reroll, then you won't want to dodge as often because that would make combat chaos. If you give the player a physical control on whether they reroll or not, like letting me hit the R key to reroll my head, well, then I'm going to fixate on the specific combat die that I want to use at the expense of all else. In the current state, re-rolling each time you use the ultimate makes using the ultimate a more strategic thing. You'll notice that I'm not using the ultimate nearly as often. I get one of the dice I like, and I just don't use the ultimate until I get overwhelmed, which is kind of what an ultimate is for, I guess. But I really hope that when we get to see further items added, and items that do things more than just, health up, speed up, damage up, items that interact with one another, maybe synergies, maybe, who knows, and new dice attack types, and maybe items that interact and synergize with certain attack types, like an item that boosts your overall stuff. I know that was the most vague statement ever. Like, say, a AA battery. It boosts your movement speed, but if you have the AC Dicey electrical effect, it also does something unique and visible in relation to that specific dice head. Having items that could interact with certain dice heads, but still do things for other things, because you're not always going to have those dice heads. But yeah, there's all sorts of things that could be done, and I'm really looking forward to the further content update. I really enjoyed this game, and I'm glad to see it developing so nicely, and look forward to seeing further nice development along it. In its current state, it's really, aside from the small number of items and the rarity of said items, there's a lot of content here. Each enemy is unique. You have an enemy, the little spider thimbles that want to rush you in melee, the sniper needle dudes, the thumbtacks that come from underground, and the little bouncing dudes, which, Yeah, you can't throw your dice head over them, apparently. I mean, each enemy fills its own little niche, and that's nice. I'm hoping to see some of the bugs worked out, like when you spawn a door that leads to the void, or when you have one of the key-bearing enemies off in the void, having floors with no treasure. I don't know if that one's a bug or not, but I'd like to get more items. I love gathering items. That's just me. I love getting items. It's one of the things I love about the Metroidvania genre, is, you know, getting new abilities and new items and growing and seeing my character get stronger. My mind went off on a tangent. It'd be neat if getting multiple of the same dice head allowed you to, like, get a stronger version of that dice head. Or added a tier 2 ability to it. Like the tier 2 dynamite when letting you throw dynamite that would then explode. The tier 2 disease one, maybe they bounce, or they have a bigger area effect, or they splatter, or they're contagious, or... Oh, there's so many things that could be done. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. I love this game. And look forward to further development from it, and I will see you back here when further development happens. Well, otherwise, I will see you on the next game.